The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Hey guys, this is Matt Seidel, and you're listening to Keepin' It Strong Style.
Yo, this is Rich Latta from One Nation Radio. This is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We present to you the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin' It Strong Style. Let's go. It's the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin' It Strong Style. Covering New Japan, they ready to hold it down. Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Josh. Come and hit a job out and bury all the frauds. From the Tokyo Dome over to the G1. Social Suplex is the network where we can get it done. I'ma chill and let them have it, cause this is just an intro. Keeping the strong style, 6 stars from the get-go, boy. Yeah, from Tampa Bay to the Tokyo Dome, this is Keeping It Strong Style with your hosts, Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Joshua Smith. And thank you for listening.
Welcome to a bonus episode of Keeping It Strong Style. Jeremy Donovan here with the young boy Josh Smith. And today we have a special interview for you with the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions, the Guerrillas of Destiny, Phantasmo and Hikuleo. Guys, how you doing?
What's up?
Glad to have you guys here on the show. Obviously, we've been covering New Japan since 2017. Been following you guys' careers for a long time now. I'm sure our listeners are really going to love what we're about to do with you guys right now.
Let's go. I got my little young boy with me too.
Yeah, when you say young boy, I was like, hey, hold up. Y'all call me young boy still?
That's my nickname.
Oh man, Damien.
Yeah, we're happy to have you guys. So, kind of keeping in the spirit of Christmas, you guys have been charitable here, offering us a bit of your time. And you guys recently did the interview or the press conference in Japan. You guys broke out the elf costumes and we're keeping it Christmas themed. So what we want to do here, just to kind of keep it a little different, this is going to be the GOD Christmas Carol interview. So basically, we're going to approach you guys with some of your misdeeds from the past. Much like Scrooge, you guys are men that are rich in talent, but have done some dastardly things in the past. We're going to look at what's going on with you right now, and most recently with the World Tag League and your title run. And then we're going to look at what's coming up with you guys going into the Tokyo Dome season and what your goals and aspirations are moving forward. All right?
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
We've got enough time to talk about all the bad things we've done in the past.
We'll see. So yeah, let's start off there. We'll start off in the past. So obviously both of you guys were in Bullet Club. Hikuleo, your brother, Tamatonga, one of the founding members of the Bullet Club. And yeah, in the Bullet Club, you guys did a lot of, down low, dastardly things. And so how did that kind of work out, especially for you, Hikuleo, when your brothers got kicked out? You stayed with the group for like 7 months before you turn your back on them. And then you, ELP, you were very loyal to Jay White, and then he gets ousted, and now you're out on the thing. So how did that kind of work, being in Bullet Club and then leaving from Bullet Club?
Jay gave me that choice. If you guys remember back to New Japan Strong out in LA, we had a match, singles match. I think it was back in 2021 or 2020, early 22, right? No, 21, early 2021. We had a match. It was just basically to see if I was ready to go out on my own or go back to my brothers, or should I stay? And that was like after I lost, why wouldn't I stay under Jay's tutelage? One of the greatest wrestlers out. And so that choice to stay for a few more months before eventually leaving, I guess you can say that was a bad deed of mine, turn my back against family, against blood. But I think at the end it helped. It turned out all right for me because, a year later, I would be ousting Jay from Japan itself. So, yeah, it depends on how you look on it from there.
It's a bit of pack mentality. I remember when me and Ishimori ran out to go save Tama and T, but the whole pack mentality that we were going to kick Tama out, you kind of get caught up in it and you don't really have time to like think about your actions and consequences. And I think the kind of same thing happened, when Ishimori and Kenta decided not to stick with my side and go with Finley's side. I don't know if they actually thought it through. It's just that like pack mentality, kind of like the same thing as like riots and stuff. You kind of get caught up into it, whether you want to or not. It's just contagious.
So, like you kind of mentioned, El Phantasmo, you were loyal to Jay during that period when he had kind of been, turned on by Hikuleo. So for a brief period of time, you two found yourself at odds and on different sides of the spectrum in terms of like alignment. How was that? And then how is it kind of working together once again, since that time?
I don't even really remember us fighting in Bullet Club. I don't know if we were ever in the ring at the same time when that was going down. I just remember me and Kenta were just so over in Bullet Club. We wanted to do something different, let Jay ride into the sunset. He wanted to leave and go to fresh waters, and we wanted to let him. And then Finley came and wrecked that, and then that kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. But I don't remember ever like fighting with Hikuleo.
No, not that you guys fought, but just that he's the one that ousted, Jay, and then for that period of time, Hikuleo's out of the group, but you're still loyal to Jay and to the group, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, Leo beat Jay fair and square like that. That didn't rub me the wrong way. That kind of like sucked that you're like, the guy that I've been hanging out with the entire time I've been in Japan is leaving, and Juice had just left, and like those were the guys that I hung out with. It is what it is. And then then the whole Finley thing came and kind of made things awkward for everybody.
So obviously there's been a change of heart, kind of a turning of the leaf, so to speak. But is there anything that you guys have taken from your time with Bullet Club to kind of transition to what GOD is now?
I think we both still have that kind of like badassery to ourselves, like how we enter the ring, how we compose and hold ourselves up in the ring and outside the ring. I guess you can say we're doing it nicer with a smile on our face. Doesn't feel too different now that I'm back with ELP. But like you said, we weren't really together too much in Bullet Club.
We did a couple of matches in England, but I honestly don't even really remember them. The only one I remember is when we wrestled Shota and Michael Oku, because it was like 4 days after Wrestle Kingdom. And I just remember me and Shingo flew over after doing Wrestle Kingdom. We went to some little like dinky theater in Portsmouth or something, and Shingo had to wrestle Kyle Fletcher. And I just remember we wrestled Shota and Michael Oku together. And that's when I like had a kid. I like brought him into the ring. Then I was about to like give him a pair of my LED glasses, but the glasses were broken, so they didn't work. So I like snapped them in front of him and like sent him out of the ring. And such a good bad guy bully moment. But like, yeah, that's really the only kind of match I remember we had together before this.
And not much has changed. Now you still bring a kid now, but now you give him like a high five or now it's a hug or something. It's a 360 from that, but a little bit of the same.
Still the mindset of taking the piss out of like, bullying them or throwing their hats. Now you like kind of embrace them or love them a little like more than what they're expecting to still make them feel a little awkward and stuff, But like that, like it just came naturally. Like I wrestled more in New Japan through the pandemic where the crowd couldn't cheer or they couldn't drink at the shows, and ticket prices were more money to come to these half-empty arenas where they can't cheer or boo. And you're like, it fucking sucks for us to wrestle like this, but it must suck for the fans too, to have to come pay money to watch these shows where they can't cheer, they can't, you can't even drink at these shows because of the stupid COVID rules. And it was like 3 years of this that we were going insane, that they were going insane, that it was kind of like, I was like, hey, you guys kind of like deserve props more than we do for for keeping New Japan afloat, because if they didn't come to these shows, like New Japan probably might not exist right now.
Wow.
And it was one of those like organically things where I was like, hey man, you guys deserve some respect.
So through going through the pandemic and every difficulty that brought for both the fans as well as yourself, it sort of endeared them to you guys and sort of was a catalyst to this change of heart that you guys have had since then.
Well, I think me especially, just because I was the guy who stayed that whole pandemic. When everybody left, I stayed and did whatever they wanted, and that's when I did that whole like 13 14 months of sudden death, and then was doing the tag team stuff with Ishimori and the never ending junior tag matches and stuff. And I think the fans kind of like respected how much I sacrificed to stay in Japan. And then like that kind of started giving it back. And me and Kenta we were doing our Bullet Club stuff, we were getting bigger cheers than some of the baby faces in New Japan. And then when they kicked me out, and then the Tongans picked me up and welcomed me back into their family, the fans kind of got behind them too. And Tama was already doing his redemption tour, so it all kind of like naturally fit together.
What about you, Hikuleo? What led to your change of heart?
From
leaving Bullet, what made you leave Bullet Club to join up with your brothers, join God?
And kind of embracing the fans too.
Yeah. So there's like two parts to that. So the first part was leaving Bullet Club. It's basically I had learned all I could from Jay, and I think that showed with me winning against him. But also, I don't think that'll look right with me being on the other side with two of my blood brothers being on the good side. So it was going to happen eventually. I think Jay knew it too, but he was just trying to hold on. He saw something in me special. And so eventually that happened, but I really didn't embrace the fans. And I think that's where I still had that Bullet Club mentality when I was the first couple months with GOD, even leading all the way up until when ELP came in. I still had that. I wasn't really embracing the fans. I had that Bullet Club mentality where I come out, I'm here to work, I'm here to like kick ass. Let's kick ass and rock and roll. But now that I've been tagging up with ELP, that's when I really understood, like, hey, like you said, these are our fans. They're the ones supporting us. We need to give back to them more instead of just being the big tough guy coming out and trying to destroy everything. It's, hey, let's embrace our fans. Let's give back to them. And it's been really, one learning lesson after the other. Now I'm with ELP. I'm learning just how to interact with the fans and just be more embracing towards them.
Nice. Yeah, we definitely saw that, Bullet Club mentality live here in Tampa, one of the New Japan Strong tours. You were in the heat of that rivalry with Jay. And I remember I was right by the rail and ringside. I threw up a too sweet to you, and you stared a hole in me. So I felt that intensity when you were walking down to the ring for that face-off with Jay.
I was confused, man. If you remember, there was two fans that were dressed as God then.
Oh, yeah.
Face paint on with the bullet proof vest. And they were throwing up two sweets too. I was just a conflicted boy. I was a conflicted boy then.
Dude, I have troubles when I do like the rope walk 2 sweet salts, that I've been doing it for so long with doing the 2 sweets that now I kind of do like the devil horns pose. That they'll be like, I'll still see photos sometimes where I'm doing the 2 sweet just because it's like muscle memory and instinct that I don't even think about it. That sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I got to stop doing the 2 sweets on these moonsaults. It's difficult.
If you look at my first match back at Korakuen when I had switched over, I think the first 2 matches I line up in the wrong corner, and then both times I kept throwing up my 2 sweet to Jado before our match, and I was like, fuck, we're not in this team anymore. It took a little while to adjust, but if you go back and watch it, don't do it because they were shitty matches, but I kept lining up in the wrong corner, and the referee had to keep moving me back to, I think it was the red corner. But yeah, man, it took a little while to adjust.
So moving to where we're at now, you guys have both joined GOD. This has kind of occurred since just post G1, essentially. and you formed this tag team. You guys have had a lot of success. You're the current reigning strong openweight tag team champions. Winners of the world tag or finalists in the world tag.
Almost. We got most points in our block. That counts for something.
And you guys are on your way to the Tokyo Dome to challenge for the IWGP heavyweight tag team titles. So how do you kind of look at God at this point? Joining up with Hantai, do you guys kind of see it as an extension of Hantai? Or do you kind of see it more as something that's formulating into its own sort of identity and its own faction?
I hope it's our own little our own identity and faction, Like Hantai is just kind of where all like the baby faces go when they don't have like a gang to hang out with, but we all naturally do hang out and go for dinner together, and we do hang out. That it was pretty easy just to call ourselves God. Like I don't think we really planned on coming up with like a new tag team name or even like calling ourselves the Guerrillas of Destiny. It just kind of, I was like, I just had that new theme song where it's like the ELP chants, and I was like, well, I didn't want to do that to him because when I was teaming with Ishimori, we just came out to my music for like those 3 years. I was like, we should be coming out to Ishimori's music. He's the legend here. I'm like the new guy. So then I didn't want to come out to the ELP song. So I was like, oh, let's just change it to like God. And then I guess the New Japan people just started calling us the Guerrillas of Destiny. And, I don't think we need to call us like the OG God or the new God. It's all just kind of, we're all the Guerrillas. We're all Rilla. I don't know.
Well, yeah, speaking of, Guerrillas of Destiny, I think the name is most known with, obviously, your brothers Hikuleo, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa. Do you feel like there's any kind of comparison or any kind of goals that you guys need to kind of overachieve to kind of live up to what your brothers did with that God tag team name?
Yeah, there's definitely prestige to the name. There's like a thing, but I don't think there's any pressure on us. I think the fans know it. We know we were just a tag team that we got put together so quick and so soon. Like, and for us to accomplish so much in a short period of time, it was unexpected too. I think we expected it from each other, but from the fan standpoint, point of view, it was just. I honestly hope we do our own thing. I hope there's no measuring stick for us to be compared to our brothers. Even if there is, I think that's in some people's mind. But I think in ours, we're here to build a new God. That's
Yeah,
exactly
I don't think I haven't seen any like comparisons to Tama and T from before. I think our matches are so different, and we got such two contrasting styles. Even like with he's the big man, I'm the flippy man. Like. It's a completely different style of matches, but yeah, I think we can all fit under the same umbrella. Tama's doing a single thing. Who knows what T's going to be doing next year? There's the options for 6-mans. There's lots of fun options. There's obviously we have some big shoes to fill with how many titles and tag leagues they did win. I don't know, they won 6 tag titles or something.
Yeah, 6.
Shit, we've won. The strong, which is like half. So,
speaking of World Tag League, so you guys just wrapped that up, and before we got in the air, you guys were kind of joking, saying that we're feeling a little bit banged up from that. So, tell us, what was your experience teaming up for the first time in the World Tag League, and was it disappointing to not have won the finals and not carry that momentum into January 4th?
Yeah, I think the path that we're on is not the ones we would have wanted or predicted, and I think a lot of the fans feel the same way. That obviously we wanted to win and then challenge Bishamon because the winners challenge the champions, but a lot of people are upset War Dogs aren't in there and TMDK aren't in there, but they didn't win. And that's the bottom line. And, neither did we, but we're grateful that Bishamon has kind of challenged us to a winner-take-all match, which I like now. When you first kind of heard about it, you're like, this is a little weird, but, we have had that one match at Korakuen that was, had Korakuen bouncing off the rafters, and then we had the finals that had Kumamoto bouncing off the rafters, and I think you put us in there again in the Tokyo Dome. We're gonna have Tokyo Dome bouncing off the rafters, which maybe a lot of like Western fans wouldn't expect, but you guys watch all these shows, like how connected we are with the Japanese audience, that I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at Wrestle Kingdom what kind of match they're going to get.
Yeah, I mean the Korakuen match and the 40-minute final match was definitely awesome, and like we've been talking about, you guys have been getting so over with the Japanese crowd, and we know that Bishamon, they are kind of the number one domestic tag team. So I think you have like one of the top domestic tag teams facing off against one of the top foreign tag teams. That's going to lead to a great match at the Tokyo Dome. But backing up a little bit, so we talked about the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. You guys won those titles. What was it like? What does it mean to you guys to win those titles and capture them from the Bullet Club War Dogs?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good to kind of bring the War Dogs down a little bit after the year that we kind of had fighting with Bullet Club, and I still don't know if there's been that like decisive finish to the story that God and Hantai and Bullet Club and War Dogs have kind of been fighting in, but yeah, it did feel good. I just talked about it on the last interview, but the crazy thing in that match was like Gabe hits so hard and he gets so intense when he's wrestling,
yeah,
that he actually like choked me unconscious when he was doing that like corner neck spot, and it was fucking crazy. That like I remember like I don't remember anything, and I just remember someone like grabbing my balls, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then I kind of like wake up and I look around and I just like feel thousands of people staring at me, and I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" I kind of like look down and I see Coughlin's head, and then I look up and I see Gabe standing on the top rope. I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" He just jumps and drills me with a doomsday device, and I'm like, am I dreaming, or am I in real life? Like, what is going on? Like, I've never been choked unconscious before, and I was like 1, 2, like naturally kick out, and I was like, oh my god, like, are we in a, like, I couldn't tell if I was in real life or a dream. Like, I felt like I was on mushrooms and LSD and like off in another realm, and then they picked me up and slammed me, and then I was like, holy shit, we're in a match right now, like in fucking Ryogoku fighting for the titles. And dude, I was just so lucky to like regain my bearings so fast, and then somehow fucking we're there, and I see Leo fucking call for the choke slam, like right back to instinct, sudden death, choke slam, tope, fucking super thunder kiss 86, and then like just to finally get a win against the War Dogs after all the shit they were causing, and to like take the titles from them, and like have Ryogoku so happy that we finally won a match, and to be like, holy shit, like I'm not dead, but I'm not alive. Like it was the craziest feeling, just like coming backstage. I've never felt so, yeah, it was such an undescribable feeling. It was crazy.
When you watch it back, after he tells this, and you see it, Coughlin has him on his shoulders, right? And you see him just like snap back into consciousness. And it's funny, but it's scary at the same time, because it's this man was knocked out, and there he is on top of another man's shoulder, and a split second later, here comes Gabe with the clothesline.
Wow.
Oh, I felt so bad.
It felt like 5 minutes. That whole sequence felt like 5 minutes, but it was like 5 seconds. But it's like, you see, like I drop down, go unconscious, Coughlin deadlifts me up onto a doomsday device. Like that's where I felt like my balls, like his head was on my balls. Then like I just felt all the people like looking at me, and then I see Gabe right there and fucking drills me with a clothesline. Yeah, it was crazy, but it did feel awesome to take the titles from them. But I think we're both very aware of like they kind of just did the Strong Openweight tag titles and the IWGP tag titles with Bishamon and Aussie Open earlier in the year, and then they kind of redid it at the American shows, or what was it, Independence Day or something. And now they're doing like another like winner take all at Wrestle Kingdom. That it's like, I don't know what we're doing with all these titles, but we're motivated to win them both and kind of pressure them into combining them into the main tag titles. Like, we obviously want to win and be the 100th IWGP heavyweight tag team champions. I think that'd be a huge accolade, especially after all the losses we've endured this past year. But
so one quick thing before we jump into the final couple topics here. So you guys, like you mentioned, were in that finals match with Bishamon, which again was pretty incredible. And we saw a different side of you kind of breaking out some more hardcore type tactics and kind of going for broke in that match, as opposed to, you know, the style of match that you had worked the rest of the tournament. Was there a reason that you guys decided to kind of go that way and to, you know, use the tables and everything like that? Or, you know, what was the reason that you kind of approached the match that way?
we were battered, bro.
Yeah. Plus, they're a six-time. Oh, not six. They're what? Two-time tag league champions.
Mhm.
You got to pull out everything towards them. And after a tournament like that stretch of a tournament with 18 matches, 21 days, you just got to leave everything.
You gotta leave it all on the table, literally.
Yeah, but that was my dumb mistake for calling for the table. But yeah, even when we did the super power bomb, they had already kicked. They'd already after our choke slam, they the super, was it the thunder kiss? They countered out of that. You know, that's when you got to start pulling stuff out of the deep playbook. And, you know, with me going to the top rope there, you know, we'll try and catch them next time, but you know, you're just trying to grab different move sets and whatnot. And so that super power bomb, that's a callback to the original GOD, to the first GOD. Yeah, I think at that point in the match too, you're just trying to figure out how to take down these two-time tag league champions. And sometimes you just got to put it all out there, like how we did.
Yeah, and I know everybody in that match walked into that match not at 100%. Like I'm not like joking. Like I felt worse at the end of Tag League than I did when I did Best of Super Juniors and the G1 back to back in the same year.
Wow.
Like it was a grind. Like it was the house shows, the house lights, like the fucking undercard matches followed by the tag league matches, followed by the fucking traveling, the no days off, and the shitty hotels, and everyone's just beat up. And then finally you get to that last show where they have like that big arena with the ring lights and the big stage, and you're like, fuck yeah, but we don't feel great. And you know, that's when we kind of like, let's do a thunder kiss through a table, and we got to pull out the big stops, because I don't think we could beat them in a normal tag match, to be honest, just with how we were feeling.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the final segment here, your Ghosts of Christmas Future. Let's talk about what's in store for you guys in the future. So you guys mentioned, you know, we have a double title match at the Tokyo Dome, and ELP, you said that your goal is you guys want to unify the belt, so you don't want to defend them separately. You want to kind of create a single tag team championships in New Japan.
Well, we just want to do something different. You know, they've already done the double strong and IWGP, and you know, there isn't really strong shows anymore. Like I think New Japan's kind of going towards like a more premium live events in the States. You know, they want to do like a big Battle in the Valley, and I know like what's coming down the pipeline is like big shows. So I don't know if we necessarily need like the strong titles. Like I feel like New Japan has a shitload of titles anyways.
Mm-hmm.
That like I think it would be cool that you have like the 100th IWGP tag team champions, fucking put the belts together, make new titles, make something nice and new, look cool, do something different. You know, that's what I want to do. Whether it happens or not, we'll see. But
I agree. Plus the strong belts, you know, War Dogs destroyed those things, man. We've had to literally like put those things back together, and
yeah, fucking super gluing them. The fucking bolts are all falling off. Like you're like, just stop throwing the belts around the ring, guys. Like, because the next guys who wear them, you're like, you can't even like put them on your shoulders. You have to like strap them around, and the fucking pieces are falling off, and the little like New Japan lion marks are fucking. You got to glue them on every show. Like, come on.
Yeah. Plus, it was supposed to be exclusively to the U.S., but within the year, you know, it's mainly in Japan now, just to keep it, just to keep the defenses up to date. So why not unify? Why not try something different for this hopefully 100th championship.
Or we just retire them and then we sell them to fucking the highest bidders and then use that money to buy new IWGP heavyweight titles. That'd be cool.
So with obviously this match that's coming up is the biggest of your guys' tag team time together. You're looking to win. What are the goals as far as the tag team is concerned beyond that? What are you hoping to do to like stamp your legacy as a tag team in New Japan?
I think hold it as long as possible. Hold, if not one unified belt, then both belts. Defend them both in America, in England, anywhere in the world. Hold them as long as possible, and just keep our name etched on that belt for as long as possible.
Nice.
Yeah, I just want to use these belts to keep our star power growing in Japan. I think a lot of the Western fans don't realize like how popular we are in Japan right now, and they can't even keep the ELP towels stocked to sell them at the shows. Even like the new blue Gorilla One T-shirt that he's wearing right now, like they're having troubles keeping them in stock at the shows. Like they're selling so good, and I just want to. Yeah, I want to try and get to be the most popular foreign tag team that New Japan's ever seen,
Yeah,
and I don't think that's out of the possibility of we're close, and if we can pull it off at the biggest stage of the year at Wrestle Kingdom and get a big win against the most dominant tag team, and then come out with new T-shirts and new towels, and keep doing new things, I think it's entirely possible that we could be like the top Gaijin babyface tag team of all time.
If you ever get a chance to go to Japan and go to one of these shows, all you will hear is ELP. Loud women, loud babies, loud men, high-pitched voice, ELP, ELP.
Yeah.
It is absurd. Like when I faced Naito, all I heard was Naito. I would say it's at the same level. When we come out, all you hear is ELP or ELP, ELP. It's that's why he pays for all my dinners.
Well, that's definitely lofty goals there for the tag team. I think also most people know that you guys are great singles wrestlers before you became a tag team. Hikuleo, you won the strong openweight title. Phantasmo, you won several Super J Cups, Rev Pro, British Cruiserweight title. Do you guys have any singles aspirations for next year while being in this tag team?
Well, I think of course we're all like. As singles wrestlers, you always want to be good singles wrestlers. Like right now, we're focused on being the best tag team wrestlers that we can. Like the success that we've had so fast. Like how many matches did we have before even like tag league started? Like less than 10 together to then go into tag league and like kind of like find our footing as tag league progresses, and then ended up finish with the most points in tag league is pretty remarkable. But the New Japan calendar is kind of like set every year. Like who knows how far we could go on a New Japan Cup run, and I assume we're both going to be in the G1 when that comes. If we stay in New Japan, you don't know what's going to happen with contract season and stuff, but yeah, we're two great singles wrestlers, but like right now we have the tag team momentum going, and I think we're both committed to seeing how far we can raise GOD's stocks.
Yeah.
If hypothetically, you guys end up putting your views on the same title or wind up across from each other, in one of those New Japan Cup rounds or in the G1, how is what is like the ethos of like this GOD and how you guys will handle, conflict like that?
A loser leaves Japan match. That's what we're doing.
Oh shit! Too soon, baby. Too soon.
No, I think it's just like any other way that how a babyface would do it. It's just we go out there and we compete and see who the best is at the end of the match. There's no bad blood. We know what has to be done, and we're both fighting to better ourselves and better each other. So if we were to come face to face, I think it's mutual. There's no bad blood in there.
Yeah, I think it would be awesome. Just, like the way I tell him ideas of tag moves and he's got his ideas for what I can do with mine. And, like we both have our signature move set that we've somehow figured out to combine in our tag matches, that it would be awesome to do a singles match knowing each other so extensively. Like I know what he's going to do before he knows what he's going to do, like I think that would be a lot of fun, but all I know is I ain't taking one of those fucking chops. That's for sure.
You got Bishamon coming up at the Tokyo Dome. As of right now, it seems like Bullet Club is kind of in the rear view mirror as far as facing those guys. You kind of beat the War Dog. Seems like Finley and all those guys are kind of in the rear view. So what are some other teams or factions do you guys want to mix it up with next year?
We had a what? Go
I like to
go
go
ahead.
along with United Empire. We haven't touched with United Empire at all. They were in different blocks this year. I like to go with them. I like to go again with TMDK. Yeah, those two.
Yeah, I think TMDK are like the standard bearer for Japanese tag team wrestling. Like I remember I used to watch them in Noah, like even before I went to England to wrestle over there. Like I've been watching them since like 2007 or 9 or whenever like they started going over. So it was awesome to get into the ring with them. Like we really enjoyed wrestling Monster Sauce. They kind of have like the same like big man, flippy man dynamic that like we had a lot of fun wrestling them in our tag league match. But something that I was thinking about the other day when I saw on Twitter, I was like, I'd really like to wrestle Balor and fucking what's his partner's name? Damian Priest. Yeah, I think that's like the same kind of like pairing of like the big man and the littler athletic man. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't know if it would ever happen but you never know what's going to happen in pro wrestling in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing before we let you guys go, and this is by request of my girlfriend. You guys probably don't know this, and I can definitely say huge fan of both of yours now, but in the early iteration of your run in New Japan, El Phantasmo, I was a bit of a hater. Longtime listeners of the show kind of know that I had kind of not been the biggest fan of yours, and she
why,
told
bro?
me,
why?
Because I had bad takes, and she said, you talked shit, you were mean, and now you got to pay the piper. So at her request, can we get a little bit of the old ELP giving me a little bit of a roast for having such bad opinions?
Well, I mean, I don't think the listeners can see the little shit stain on your upper lip, but for us here, it does look like you have a little smudge on your little upper lip of feces, and that feces would be your bad takes, brother. But I mean, come on, man, you guys knew what I was doing. I was going out of my way to piss people off, like you guys. I did. I can't remember all the shit I did, but I remember when I did like the music licensing thing.
Yeah.
Or like I had the new song ready, but it wasn't ready for the thing. So I was like, well, why don't I just like take away the music rights and then tease like the new theme song, and then trolled everybody by having it on mute and doing all that fun stuff. I was going out of my way to trolling smart marks and stuff like that.
Well, to be clear, I was team ELP from day one. After you and Ishimori against Ospreay and Robbie Eagles, I was sold that I was like, strap this man up, give him all the belts, let him flip all over the place. I'm in.
Dude, that was an awesome match. That was in Kagoshima. So I was really hoping the semifinals this year was going to be in that same arena, but it wasn't to be. We were in a little shitty like house show arena, but yeah, dude, I had so much fun teaming with Ishimori and especially Ospreay and Robbie Eagles. That one tag match that we had. The funny thing is the rematch that we had in like the Super Junior Tag League, like it was like a few weeks later or something.
Mm-hmm.
The night before, we all went out drinking and partying in the Tokyo Dome Hotel until 5 a.m. And we're all like, shooting on each other. I remember I was trying to like tap out TJP or something, and I had split my head open by knocking it against the wall, and it was like 5, 6 a.m. and no one knew what to do. So like Rocky went to Don Quixote and got super glue, and they like super glued like the back of my head shut, but like they didn't know how to like close it, so they had to like put like toilet paper or something. So like I remember like I woke up that day to wrestle Robbie and Will in the main event of Korakuen with like a 4 or 5 inch gash in the back of my head.
Oof.
And if you go back and watch it, you'll see like a little like white caterpillar of like super glue and toilet paper in the back of my head. It was not awesome.
Man.
Well, before we let you guys go, are there any final anything you want to leave the listeners with to kind of promote the upcoming match that you guys got coming January 4th?
Fucking buy an airplane ticket and come watch it live because you don't know it's going to work on New Japan World. That is the best advice I can do. Fucking save your $9.99. Fucking buy an airplane ticket and fly to Tokyo and come watch Wrestle Kingdom live.
Nice. Well, do you guys have any other plugs you want to get in here for listeners to tell you where to follow you online? Any other projects you have working on?
Yeah, follow me on Patreon, patreon.com/Hiku's Hub. All behind the scenes stuff, all the drinking, all the hookers, and we don't want to. No, I'm just kidding. It's cool stuff back there. Join it if you want.
Nice. What about you, ELP? Anything you want to plug? Any music? Any beats you're working on?
Oh, I just finished the Wrestle Kingdom entrance.
Ooh.
I just showed him. It's the same theme song, but I updated the visuals a little bit, and yeah, I've gotten lucky that I can kind of talk to the production team in Japan for some things and kind of like choreographed how the visuals and the lights are going to look for Wrestle Kingdom. So I think it's going to look awesome. I'm excited for that. I'm a big presentation guy. I like having control over that stuff.
Nice. Definitely looking forward to checking that out, man.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been to a Wrestle Kingdom live?
Not
Never
yet.
been to Tokyo, no.
It's on the bucket list.
It's so much better than watching it on New Japan World. even when it works, like I don't know, like just there's a magic in Korakuen Hall, especially when it's full, and you know the fans over in Japan are so much better than American fans. They're into everything. They're polite. They're happy. They're excited. They're drinking, but they're having fun. Like when you get them rumbling, it's such like an atmosphere that I don't think the American scene gets. Like wrestling in America is still awesome because they do a lot of like chants and stuff, but like Ryogoku is such like a cool venue. You can like bring your own drinks inside and like watch. Like it's just so awesome. You guys got to come to Japan.
Yeah,
it is fucking expensive and far from Florida, but
I think the plan had been literally just prior to the
pandemic.
What's wrong with me? Yeah, the pandemic. We were planning to go, and then the pandemic happened, and it kind of fucked everything up for us.
Fucked everything up for everybody. Like that. Honestly, that's why we're so like lovey-dovey with the fans, man. Like I was there that whole pandemic, and the amount of shit that they had to go through. That it's like I'm gonna give the love back for as long as I can because these fans deserve it. Because without them, we wouldn't have New Japan right now.
Well, we are two of those fans, and we appreciate you guys, and we wish you the best coming up here in January 4th, and we look forward to the long title reign. Just like Bob Holly, they should put the belts on you guys, and you beat everybody.
Beat everybody.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, I know a lot of people have been calling for that rocket strapped, but I think they've put it on my back a few times, and I've failed to light it off. So Wrestle Kingdom is going to be a huge what if moment, whether I can light that rocket or whether I got to go elsewhere and start from scratch. We'll see. But Wrestle Kingdom, January 4th. Are you guys staying up late and watching it live, or are you going to wake up and watch it spoiler free?
I think I'm gonna wake up live and watch it just to make sure no spoilers.
And then you guys got to work.
I took the day
And
off.
that's where it's fucked up. That it's like it's on Thursday at like midnight or something.
Yeah,
We take the day off. I take the 4th and the 5th off every year.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, see, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm West Coast, so I like New Japan comes on at 1:30 a.m., which is like fine. But I don't know how people on like East Coast watch it.
yeah, it's rough. I don't do it all the time, mainly for the bigger shows, and yeah, it's pounding some energy drinks and trying to save up.
Yeah, like there is nothing better than watching wrestling live. Like even when you watch AEW, you can watch it live, but if you don't watch it live, it doesn't have that same excitement. Same with New Japan, I feel like a lot of the people will be like, "Oh, World Tag League was 40 minutes. I don't really want to like sit there and watch it." But if you're watching it live, you get caught in way more. And that's kind of that. I think that's one of the biggest difficulties with being a fan of New Japan in the West. It's impossible to watch it at 4 a.m. live every day.
Yeah, knowing that the match length and the results definitely, I think, ruins it. But if you go in there, blind, not knowing how long the match is, what the spots are, who won, you get caught and invested in there. And like you mentioned, the crowd in Japan is so special. It's the way that they ooh and awe and react to things. Their reactions are so much, I feel like a little bit more genuine than American fans.
Oh, it's so authentic, and they're actually cheering for you. And when I'm in there, like it was like the last 15 minutes of the match. It was like 2-on-1 basically, but like I'm fucking beat. I'm exhausted. I can barely lift my arm, but like you have the people like firing up with you. Like it's such like a contagious, crazy feeling that doesn't necessarily come across live when you watch it on the screens and stuff. But I hope you guys can get to Japan one day and experience it. Like especially like Naito and Sonata is going to be crazy inside the dome.
Nice. Would you say that's the match you're most looking forward to, besides obviously the match that you guys are having?
The spectacle of it, yes. I don't think on paper it's the match I want to see the most, like work rate wise, as you guys would say. But like when you get a main event Naito and Sonata, and the people are going to be losing their mind, and people are going to be standing up, and like we kind of like sit in the dugout in the Tokyo Dome and just like kind of absorb it. You get goosebumps. So I'm looking forward to seeing if Naito can do the roll call, or if Sonata stops it, and who knows what's going to happen.
Maybe one of you guys stop it.
No thanks. Hopefully House of Torture grows some balls and they fucking run in. That'd be dope.
Well, guys, thanks again for joining us. Next week, we will preview Wrestle Kingdom 18 with Chris Samsa. So if you enjoyed today's interview, please consider making a donation. Visit socialsuplex.com/donate and click on the donate button under the Keeping It Strong Style logo. Make sure to connect with us on social media. On X, the show is at KI Strong Style. You can follow the network at Social Suplex. You can follow me at Jeremy L. Donovan. On Facebook, we're facebook.com/Social Suplex. Also join us in the Wrestling Squared Circle Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Wrestling Squared Circle. On Instagram at Social Suplex. On Reddit, I'm the Pro Black Guy. Josh is Keeping It Strong Style. You can email me, Jeremy at socialsuplex.com. Check out all the shows that we have here on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. One Nation Radio, hosted by Rich Latta and James Boyd. All Things Elite, hosted by Floyd Johnson Jr. and Austin Tumowitz. Imp's WWE Adventure with the Implications, Matthew Mayer. And Wrestling Art with Chris Things. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating and review. And we will catch you next week on Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts.
Thank you for listening to Keepin' It Strong Style. We'll see you next time.